The truth is that Americans over 45 are being squeezed by the cost of living. Every month, 1,500, 2,800 USD just to pay rent, bills, healthcare, and a few fast food meals, and you know very well that this cannot go on forever. But there is one thing most Americans have never been told. There are places, countries where 290 USD per month buys more than just a life. A private home, 3 meals for only 2 to 3 USD, a doctor visit for 20, 30 USD, and especially 0% tax on your retirement income. No need to buy a house, no need to invest, no need to speak the local language, no need for complicated procedures. By the 10-minute mark, I will reveal 10 items that help retirees live far more peacefully. Things that, if you had known earlier, you might not have had to pay 2,000 to 3,000 USD per month just to barely survive in the US. Are you ready to see a life where 290 USD per month is not only enough, but enough for you to enjoy every single day? Dream it. Pack it. Go. 3. Indonesia. KUTA Lombok. Mornings at KUTA Beach. Lombok always begin with a silk-soft sunlight falling onto the ocean, making everything slow and gentle to the point where you feel time itself wants to pause for a few minutes, to breathe with you. Just a few steps, and you are already standing on a long stretch of white sand, where the sea breeze cools you as if it were soothing all the tension accumulated over so many years in the US. KUTA Lombok feels like Bali from 15 years ago. A beach town that isn't crowded yet, not expensive yet, and still keeps the innocence of a place untouched by commercialization. This is the golden stage for long-term living, modern enough to be comfortable, cheap enough to live lightly, and peaceful enough for you to start over without feeling lost. What surprises many Americans is how incredibly gentle the cost of living is. With just about 290 USD a month, you already have a spacious room, strong air conditioning, a clean bathroom, stable Wi-Fi, and utilities included. If you prefer living even more minimally, you can find rustic bungalows tucked under coconut trees for only 90 to 100 USD that are still clean, airy, and wonderfully calm. In town, there is a surprisingly well-stocked grocery store with everything from fresh vegetables, milk, pasta, sourdough bread, to imported wine, and the food is both cheap and clean. Those Pinterest-perfect breakfasts for only 3 to 5 USD make you question whether the cost of living in the US is deliberately teasing you. The beach is so clean, it's almost unbelievable. And the public showers cost only a few dozen cents, yet shine like those in a hotel. Traffic is gentle, scooters are easy to rent, the modern gym is right in the center, and cafes, eateries, and convenience stores stay open all day and night. Even small moments, like when the creator of the video stood confused, unable to see the ceiling fan right in front of him, and both he and the Belgian bungalow owner laughed, same, are enough to make you feel like you are no longer a stranger, but a part of the rhythm of life here. And what is even more surprising is that despite being a small town, KUTA Lombok has a healthcare system good enough for you to feel confident living long-term. In town, there are clean private clinics that quickly handle common issues. Consultations cost only 8 to 15 USD, and medicine is cheap and easy to buy from pharmacies along the main road. When you need more specialized care, it takes just a few minutes on a scooter to reach the new hospital in the Mandalika area, or 1 hour to reach RSU Mataram, the largest hospital in Lombok. Serious cases can fly to Bali in only 25–30 minutes for treatment at BIMC or Siloam, 2 international hospitals with high standards. As long as you have long-term travel insurance or international insurance, everything is within reach. KUTA Lombok is also one of the rare places where you can feel safety in the literal sense. No honking, no conflicts, no crowds. Violent crime is nearly non-existent. Occasionally, there may be petty theft if you leave your belongings unattended. But compared to Bali or other major tourist spots, this town is so gentle that many Americans admit they feel safer here than back home. Walking to the beach at night is still comfortable. Locals speak softly, always smile, and are ready to help if you need anything. You only need to be careful when riding a scooter on dark stretches of road or when surfing during the big wave season. Even the visa is so easy that many people plan to stay for a few weeks, but end up staying a few months. Americans can enter with a 30-day VOA and extend another 30 days right in Lombok. If you want to stay longer, the B211A visa allows you to stay up to 180 days without needing to invest or prove assets. And if you are over 55 and want a truly long-term life, you can apply for the retirement KUTA. No need to buy a house. No need to invest tens of thousands of USD. Just prove that you can afford your own living expenses. This is why many expats call Indonesia the most breathable destination in Southeast Asia. Of course, nowhere is perfect. The internet is sometimes weak. Rental prices rise slightly during tourist season, and complicated medical cases must be treated in Bali. But these things are tiny compared to the life you get in return. A life that in the US you might have to pay 10 times more to have. Close to the beach, delicious food, decent health care, safety, a warm expat community, and a pace of life slow enough for you to hear your own breath again. In the US, 290 USD only buys a few meals, but in KUTA Lombok, it buys a month of peace, and sometimes an entirely new life. If one day you truly want to leave behind old pressures to try living slower, living lighter, living more meaningfully, would you dare choose KUTA Lombok as the place to begin? Top 10. Tiny items that save retirees living abroad. 1. Waterproof, drop-proof, forgetfulness-proof document wallet. For those who leave the house for 5 minutes and ask, "Where did I put my passport?" The answer is always inside this magical wallet. 2. Mini flashlight. Saves you when the power goes out. You won't know its value until you're on the toilet and the power suddenly cuts out. Trust me, anyone who's been through it understands the superhero feeling of holding a flashlight while searching for toilet paper. 3. Universal travel adapter. Saves your heart when your laptop is about to die. Nothing hurts more than seeing 2% battery and realizing the outlet doesn't match. Carrying this means you've avoided 90% of emotional disasters. 4. All-in-one pouch for medication, glasses, medical documents. You will thank this pouch every time you think, "Wait, did I take my blood pressure pill this afternoon?" Just open the pouch and you'll know. 5. Backup eSIM. Keeps you from getting lost, plus hungry, plus out of battery. Losing internet abroad is like losing the GPS of your brain. Having a backup eSIM means you'll never have to stand in the street asking, "Excuse me, where am I?" 6. Anti-pickpocket neck wallet, but makes you look like a retired edition 007, not fashionable but extremely useful. And you'll be surprised how it makes you feel as confident as if you're on a national mission. 7. Small stainless steel water bottle. Saves your kidneys, your heart, and your mood. Hot weather dehydrates you faster than Social Security increases each year. A small bottle keeps you from turning into a dried-up old turtle. 8. Notebook for important numbers. Saves you when your phone dies, at the worst moment. You'll understand its value when your phone shuts off and the street signs are in the local language. 9. Mini first aid kit. Saves your feet, your knees, and even your date cuts, mosquito bites, headaches, stomach aches, all handled in 20 seconds. Exactly the vibe of older in age but reacts like a ninja. 10. Thin rain jacket saves you from 100 types of surprise rain. In tropical countries, rain comes as fast as bills in the US. With this jacket, you're safe, your documents stay dry, and your hair still looks good. 2. Point, Georgia, where the Caucasus wind blows you into a new life. If there is a place on the map that makes American retirees stop, sigh in relief, and ask themselves, why didn't I come here sooner? It is Georgia, a small country between Europe and Asia, where ancient Caucasus mountains embrace vineyards, where the sound of the panduri floats out from old stone houses, and where with just $290, $350 a month, you can live fully without sacrificing anything important. And the most important thing is, the $290 per month lifestyle is completely realistic if you stay in small towns like Gori, Kutaisi, or Telavi, where rent is only $130, $180 for a clean, safe apartment near local markets and nature. These are the true golden points for ultra-low budgets, not central Tbilisi. This is where an American can live simply yet fully and feel richer every morning when they open the door to see mountains, mist, and sunlight. Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, stretches out like an ancient carpet along the Metkvari River, drifting past honey-colored houses. But you don't need to live right in the center to enjoy the essence of Georgia. Suburban areas like Sabortalo, Guldani, or Dagomi cost only $180, $250 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, quiet enough to hear birds in the morning, close enough for a $3 taxi to take you to the old town. And if you choose Kutaisi, Gori, or Telavi, safe areas with beautiful nature and a life as light as mountain wind, you will understand why people say, Georgia is a place where you can live by heart, not by bills. But Georgia is not just about money. It is about emotion. When you open your door in the morning, you will smell freshly baked hachapuri floating in the air. Hear the footsteps of elderly women heading to the market with baskets of purple grapes. Feel the damp earth from old neighborhoods. And watch sunlight slip through rooftops like nature's own blessing. Georgians eat as if every meal is a celebration. Endless supra tables, wine aged in 8,000-year-old clay kuvevri, steaming hot kinkali, and polyphonic songs wrapping listeners in a warm, cultural embrace. Just step into a small wine bar, and the owner will ask where you're from, pour you a glass, and say, "You are a guest. You are a friend. You are family." This is one of the most unique things here. Hospitality without a reason. As for safety, Georgia is not just safe. It's safe to a surprising degree. One of the highest-ranking safe countries in the world, where you can stroll at night along cobblestone alleys, where children play across city squares, where strangers smile at you as if they've known you from a past life. Except for the occupied regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia, where travelers stay away, the rest of Georgia is as peaceful as a painting. This is why many retirees choose small towns. Borjomi with its mineral springs, Telavi with its vineyards, Bakuriani with pine forests and fresh air, or Ureki, a town with a black sand beach famous for its health benefits. If health is what you worry about, Georgia will reassure you in surprising ways. Private checkups cost $20, $35, dental care only $20, $30, and medicine is cheap and easy to buy. Hospitals like Mediclub, American Hospital Tbilisi, and new hospitals are all modern and have English-speaking doctors. Many expats pay only $300 to $400 per year for all regular medical care, even less than copay in the US. And if you need complex treatment, Turkey and Europe are only 1 to 2 hours away by plane. Visa and residency are also what make Georgia a dream. Americans, Canadians, and EU citizens can stay 365 days visa-free. Yes, a full year with just a passport. Near the end of the stay, you only need to go to Armenia or Turkey and come back. And that's another year. If you want official residency, buying property worth $100,000 allows you to apply for a one-year residence permit that is easily renewable. Taxes are light as air. Retirees with foreign income do not pay tax in Georgia because the country applies a territorial tax system, meaning retirement money from the US or Canada, you keep 100%. English in Georgia is also something interesting. Young people speak it more, older people speak Russian, but everyone is happy when you say a few Georgian phrases like Gamarjoba, hello. In Tbilisi, Batumi, and Kutaisi, you will have no problem at all. But in rural areas, English is less common. In exchange, the smiles are more frequent. And to help you feel the true spirit of Georgia, here is the story of Mark, a 70-year-old American living in Tel Aviv. In the first week, he went to the market to buy grapes. He wanted half a kilo, but mispronounced it as 2 kilos. The vendor thought he loved grapes, so she happily filled the bag, then added a few peaches as a gift. Mark was so embarrassed his face turned red, while the old lady patted his shoulder and laughed. Eat more and stay healthy. Since then, every time he goes to the market, the whole market calls him the American who loves grapes. Mark told the story with a cheerful laugh. In the US, I saved every dollar to buy groceries. In Georgia, I get forced to eat more because people care about me too much. Georgia is not perfect. Tbilisi can be hot in the summer. Housing prices sometimes rise because of the influx of expats, and winters in the mountain regions are quite cold. But all of these things make life here more real, more vibrant, and more worth holding on to. A place where every day you walk outside, you smell freshly baked bread, hear the mountains calling, and feel younger even though you are older. One thing that surprises many Americans is that hiring a housekeeper in Georgia is so easy and so affordable that you have to look back at your previous life. Local housekeepers are dedicated, work gently, and the cost is only around $20-25 USD for an entire cleaning session, an almost unbelievable number compared to prices in the US. Many retirees share that this is the first time they feel their home is always clean, their kitchen always tidy, and they have more time to enjoy life, all because of a small change they never considered before. Georgia is not a place to run away from life. It is a place to find it again. Through the kindness of people, through evenings with homemade wine, through misty mornings wrapping around mountain peaks, and through the warm feeling of knowing that with just $290-350 a month, you can live safely, healthily, fully, and happier than ever. If Georgia makes you feel that life can be lighter, cheaper, and more beautiful, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, Georgia, yes or no. I'm really curious to see how many people dare to choose the Caucasus for the next chapter of their lives. 1. Paraguay, where $290 USD a month turns into a softer, safer, and more abundant life than you ever imagined. There are countries that impress you because of their scenery. There are countries you remember because of their good food. But Paraguay belongs to a very rare category. It makes you want to stay, even if you never thought you would choose a country with no ocean, no grand towers, and no place on any trending travel list. Yet it is exactly this simplicity that becomes the most precious luxury, especially for those who are exhausted by the high cost of living in the US. You won't believe it, but with just $290 USD a month, You can live quite comfortably in riverside cities like Encarnacion or Villarrica, where a red roof house with a small yard costs only about 150-200 USD per month, and 3 full meals a day cost only 3-5 USD. Local markets sell meat, fish, vegetables, and fruits so cheaply that you can carry home a heavy bag for only 7-10 USD. Internet is strong and stable at 20-30 USD per month. Electricity is many times cheaper than in the US thanks to the massive Itaipu hydropower source. And what surprises viewers the most? A single person can live well in Paraguay on 600 USD per month. But if you are willing to move away from the center and live like a local, 290 USD per month for basic needs is completely doable. At that price, you don't just survive, you live. In Encarnacion, every afternoon, people gather along the Paraná River. Young people roller skate, children play in the water, and the elderly sit drinking tereré, cold tea, watching the fiery red sun fall onto the river. The people here are gentle in a way that feels unreal. They ask where you're from, then immediately invite you to try their drink, as if they've known you forever. No pretension, no caution, just pure hospitality, like spring water. If you come during festival season, you will see a completely different Paraguay. Carnaval Encarnacion is the moment the whole city seems to burst into music and lights. Thousands of people dance in the streets, from children to retirees, from locals to expats from the US, Canada, and Europe. A 67-year-old American man said that he was only watching, but the group next to him pulled him into the circle, put a feathered hat on his head, and made him dance. "I've never seen South Americans as gentle as Paraguayans," he laughed. "Here, you don't just live cheaply, you live joyfully." However, what makes older people want to stay long-term is not just the low cost or the fun festivals. It is healthcare, and Paraguay surprises many people. While U.S. healthcare can cost thousands of dollars for a single visit, Paraguay charges only 20-30 USD for a private doctor consultation. Medicine is 50-80% cheaper than in the U.S. An expat living in Asunción even shared that their family of 4 buys premium private insurance for just 150 USD per month, including checkups, tests, emergency care, and even surgery. For a single person, insurance is only about 40-50 USD per month, a number almost unimaginable for Americans. But Paraguay is not just cheap, it is also one of the safest places in South America. The U.S. lists Paraguay as Level 1, exercise normal precautions, equivalent to many European countries. If you live in small cities, you will feel like you're living in a countryside town. Doors don't need to be locked all day, children run around outside, and neighbors call each other by name. Outside a few border areas that require caution, the whole country is peaceful to the point where many people feel as if they've stepped back into an older decade. A time without honking, without pressure, without crowds. What attracts viewers the most is probably the visa and residency. Paraguay was once famous as one of the easiest places in the world to obtain permanent residency. Even though the 5,000 USD deposit rule has been removed, the new system remains simple. You apply for temporary residency, stay 2 years, then file for permanent residency. For those with a pension over 1,300 USD per month, it's even faster. And especially, you only need to visit Paraguay once every 3 years to keep your permanent residency. No one forces you to stay continuously. No one requires you to invest tens of thousands of dollars. Everything is as light as air. And taxes are what make Americans want to retire here. Paraguay follows a territorial tax system, meaning all foreign income is tax-free. Pension money, social security, investment income, you keep 100% of it. On top of that, low costs, cheap healthcare, cheap food, cheap housing, low taxes. That's why so many expats call Paraguay the country where for the first time in your life you don't have to worry about bills. Not everything is perfect. Paraguay has no ocean, little English, and summers can get so hot that you just want to lie under a fan. But these are exactly the things that keep Paraguay at a price level where an ordinary American can afford to live. If this country had blue beaches, coastal roads, resorts, the cost would be 3 or even 5 times higher. Paraguay is the choice of those who want an easier life, not a luxurious one. A life where in the afternoon you sit on a plastic chair, drink tereré, hear neighbors calling each other, and feel like you're no longer racing against time. If with only 290 USD per month, you can live safely, eat cheaply, have cheap housing, cheap healthcare, and be welcomed by the community like family. Would you dare choose Paraguay as your retirement destination or long-term home? Leave a comment. Is Paraguay the country you want to explore next? If you've watched until now, you probably feel what so many Americans are feeling. Life today is too expensive, too exhausting, and too short to live in worry. But today you've seen clearly, with just 290 USD per month, there are still peaceful, beautiful, safe, and warm places where you can start over without sacrificing your health or your freedom. Sometimes, just daring to think differently means you've already gone halfway. So if you could choose a place to live lighter, breathe easier, live happier, would you choose Paraguay, Georgia, or Indonesia? Leave a comment, because the answer you give today might be your real destination a few months from now. If this video opened a door for you, hit like and subscribe. We still have many beautiful lands waiting ahead. See you on the next journey.